Hey everyone, welcome to Zeitgeistzealots. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robbie.
Matt.
So today we're going to talk about...
Oh, wait, no. I'm Major
What?
Loki. I'm changing my intro. I'm Major Loki.
Oh, okay, because you're a Loki variant? Hilarious.
We're all Loki variants.
Okay, I'm Foki.
I'm Alligator
Foki,
Loki. Come
Roki, Moki. You're Alligator Loki?
on. Alligator Loki. It's the best one.
I thought it was Croaky.
What, do alligators smile, or is that crocodiles? I know crocodile tears, but, like, don't alligators have, like, a smile? Or is that crocodiles? They should, whichever one smiles, that's the one that they should have made Loki.
Only when, like, I don't know, a fat kid
Like a
goes swimming.
mischievous grin.
That's the only time
Yeah.
alligator grins is when a fat kid goes swimming. So today we're going to talk about when a body positive kid goes swimming. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Loki episode 4 or episode 5, the penultimate episode of Loki, and this is when he goes to the void, and he's running from this cloud monster called Galactus. No wait,
Goliath. Galactus.
Sorry,
I'm looking forward to it, though.
You almost got me there. Got me there.
Yeah.
Parallax? Is that no? Okay, Elias. It's just a vague
Dormammu
thing that kills stuff. So very original. So basically, Loki's in the run from Elias. He meets the other variants: Kid Loki, Classic Loki, Cosplayer Loki,
Boastful Loki,
Ala Loki,
and then Alligator.
Loki. I was interested. How come present Loki looks just like him, but the other variants don't?
I guess it's just when they were pulled from their own timelines.
Yeah.
I'm not getting about too much.
I mean, they're
like all
shapeshifters,
Loki
so why don't
look
they
the
all look
same.
alike? Or all look different?
Then they have to think about shape-shifting all the time.
Well, I mean, like, he's a frost giant. He's constantly shaped like Tom
Oh,
Hiddleston.
yeah.
So it's not that hard of a. It's not, you
Yeah,
know, it's
he's
like if you walk
actually,
around
like-
sucking it in the entire time, then, you know, you get used to it.
It's actually blue originally.
Who is your favorite Loki variant out of the 5 or 4 or 6 in this episode?
All of them.
Um,
I would have been completely fine, like, in the bunker scene when they were all, like, betraying each other.
Mhm.
I would have been completely fine with 5 more minutes of the Lokis betraying, like, turning on each other. Like,
That was funny.
like, right? I could have done
Just
another
standing back trying
5,
to stay out of
just
the way.
5 more minutes of them just betraying each other. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Yeah, this episode
I mean-
definitely has the record for most Easter eggs. And Matt,
Oh, man, yeah, there's a ton of Easter eggs.
I was going to say that scene, very rarely do I have like laugh out loud moments, but the whole betrayal and then the betrayal of the betrayal and the betrayal of the betrayal. It was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. It was great.
Yeah, well, luckily the classic and Kid Loki, and Alligator Loki, and main Loki didn't betray each other, so at least the plot was able to happen.
Is the alligator Loki a new thing, or was that actually like a comic book thing or something?
I don't know. I've never seen him.
I mean, we saw a frog
The
door.
reason why he got pulled.
Yeah, I saw that when
Oh.
the camera was going down. He was in a jar.
What were we saying, Matt?
I think it's new, but I think the whole shtick is that the TVA pulled him because Loki, instead of pulling the prank on being the serpent and always biting and stabbing Thor, turned into an alligator one time. So TVA came and pulled him as an alligator, and he's stuck as an alligator.
Interesting. Now, he ate the neighbor's cat. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I wonder if that's the cat
Yep.
from the TVA, or if that TVA cat's still going to be a Florgan or whatever from Captain
Mhm.
Marvel, and they're going to have to face, like, maybe Mobius will have to take it down in episode 6.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Did y'all notice Kid Loki was drinking Ecto Cooler, which they don't make anymore?
Yep.
I saw you
I
had
thought
like
it was a high C.
Yeah, I thought I saw a high C.
Yeah, it's a high C ecto cooler.
Yeah. Which
Oh.
continued.
Oh, maybe I'm not familiar with it.
If he was drinking,
Yeah, I don't know that
Like
flavor.
94, 95. What? In the 90s.
What do you guys think about Kid Loki killing Thor?
Was it Kid Thor or was it Baby Thor?
Yeah, I wonder if it was like Kid Thor,
Probably.
like the time he turned into a snake and then stabbed Thor or whatever the story was from Thor Ragnarok.
Mhm.
Maybe he landed a lethal blow.
Perhaps. But yeah, I think some of the other Easter eggs in the bunker was like this this discontinued video game called Plebius.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've actually listened to a whole podcast series on Polybius, or however you pronounce it. It's
A much more prepared
very interesting.
podcast. Much
How about
more
the
prepared podcast than ours?
how about
Much
the
more prepared.
Thanos copter?
The Thanos
Yes,
copter was the
I
best.
laughed so hard at that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I'd
the
like
Thanos
pause
copter
it, rewound it. I was like, "Oh, look, Kelly!" Like my wife, I was like, "Look, it's the Thanos copter," and she was like,
The
"What
Thanos
the
copter
hell is
was
that?"
huge.
There was Yellow Jacket's helmet was
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, what is going on?
What,
The
what?
TVA
The-
just dumping
yeah.
all kinds of
It's
stuff
the
in
garbage.
Well,
can
like,
for TVA.
Pretty much.
He shrunk himself into nothing, right? From Ant-Man and the Wasp. I barely remember that movie, but
So in an
That's what I was
alternate
gonna-
timeline, instead
yeah.
of shrinking himself, he enlarged himself. So therefore, that's not the proper timeline. So they took him out when he was big.
Thanks for explaining that, Matt. I was going off on a tinfoil theory that I'll talk about here at the end.
But
But that's good.
also-
That's good to know. That's good to know. He was just an alternate
interesting.
version.
Is that Yellow Jacket's supposed to appear in Ant-Man 3, which
Mhm.
is also going to include Kang. So, and we also know that the quantum realm is a way for people to travel through time.
Yep.
So maybe that is Yellow Jacket's helmet, and he just traveled to the end of time, the quantum realm.
So yeah, I was thinking like he shrunk down to nothing and kind of teleported himself into the quantum. Gosh, I wish Ant-Man the Wasp was a better movie, so I'd watch it again.
Quantum.
The quantum realm.
Well, it's funny because it was originally called the Microverse, but because they created the Microverse for a toy line called Micronauts, and when Marvel lost the license, they couldn't call it the Microverse anymore, so they had to call it the Quantum Realm.
Well, the quantum realm is a way cooler name.
Realm. I think it sounds cooler. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like
this isn't Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it reminds me of Rick and Morty. And then they go to the
When he's trying to
mini-verse
fix
and the
his car.
teeny-verse.
The teeny verse.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's just cut straight to it. You guys think it's Kang?
That's
Is
well,
Kang-
it's
is
either
Kang on-
Kang or his future self, Immortus.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
You don't-
Mortis.
Or
You don't think it's a
Yellow
Loki
Jacket.
variant?
Yeah, I think it could be Loki variant. I really hope it's not. I really hope it is Kang, because not in the case like this isn't the case like Mephisto, where no actor was cast, ahead of time, and
Right.
but in this case, he's been cast already. He's going to appear in a future Marvel movie, so this would be a very good time to do some. Plus, he has
sneak
a
him
lot of
in.
history with Renslayer and the TVA anyway. So but it could also be another Loki variant. Hopefully, it's not even this minutes. I'm gonna be really pissed off, but
I honestly think it's Ravon, the head right now of the TVA, because the whole idea of the timekeepers is that the last person at the TVA creates the timekeepers to go back into the past to create the TVA. So we're just in the first loop of that, and it's going to be
Good.
her at the end because she's going to
Miss
be the only
Minutes
surviving.
totally knows something.
so it's her future self, right?
Yep. Because in the comic books, she's actually a queen of some star system. Kang falls in love with, but like never really gets. So that's a way to tie Kang in.
Yeah, it's like.
But here's my thing. We know
Termination.
Kang's going to be. Go ahead, Forrest.
Well, she becomes like his consort or his bride, or
Mhm.
and she's called Terminatrix. So maybe if it's not Kang, maybe just a future version of her. So I guess it's a good theory, Matt. I didn't think about that, and it's like a way they could tease Kang at the same time, but also not have him in the show.
And that's the thing, though, is that we've seen so far that they're not introducing the major villains in the show. They're using the shows to bridge and tie in the major villains for the movie reveal. So I really do not think we'll see Kang or Mortis
Something
or
huge.
anybody major.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll
you
definitely
won't see me,
tease him, I think, at least, because I think
unfortunately.
and Ant-Man 3 is going to come out next year, I
Mhm.
think. So
Yeah, that's my big thing, right? Kang, we know it's going to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, and we saw that city, whether it's Chronopolis or not, it looks like Chronopolis, in the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 when they went to go get Jana Van Dyne. How do I remember her name, but not the plot? Anyway, not important.
that was
so,
the
like,
plot. They had to get her. That was the whole freaking
so
plot.
like, is Kang at the end of time, or is he in the quantum realm, or is like it kind of looping into itself? But I don't think the quantum realm is outside the void, or is the void outside of time?
Yeah,
Because how can you travel through time if it's outside of time? So I don't think it's gonna be Kang.
Well, I think it's called like Castle Limbo. That's like his fortress or whatever. But I think it does make more sense, like that.
It is a castle.
The person behind TVA is a character that's already been established.
Yeah.
So like the general audience.
Oh, Evil Mobius. Maybe it's the other analyst that they were hinting at earlier in the TV series. You know, with the rings on the coffee table.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll probably be a character we've already seen, like Ravonna or.
I'm gonna call it Evil Mobius.
B-15.
You think it's B-15?
No,
She locked up.
Out there.
Yeah,
she wanted to burn the place down.
So like the reveal would be a character we haven't seen in the entire show at all, and like general audiences aren't gonna know who Kang is, and just like, okay, it's just a guy. But I don't know. I don't think this will be like the big Thanos reveal like in Guardians of the Galaxy. Although I hope it would be, But we'll just
temper your expectations.
Yeah,
let's not have another Morpheus or Mephisto. Yeah.
And I've learned that.
Let's not have another Mephisto fiasco.
You see it.
No spoilers for Black Widow.
Well, so the ending of Black Widow was supposed to actually been revealed already before Falcon and Winter Soldier. So there's a huge mid-credit scene that was supposed to happen, but because it delayed Black Widow for so long, it happened. Like we already know this surprise character at the end of the movie.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
I think it makes more sense. You know who it is, Matt? Robbie made you care if I spoil it?
I don't care. Listeners, do you care?
What's going to happen?
If you care, just skip ahead 30 seconds. No, what? He's going to read.
Seen before shows in Black Widow. Do you care if I spoil it?
It's the mid-credit scene, so it's not super. It's not important to the plot if it's a mid-credit scene.
Yeah, go ahead.
Valentina from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's good.
So, but to be fair, like I think it makes more sense it showed up on Falcon and Winter Soldier because she's like more of a TV star than a film star anyway. So for her to show up on the TV show debut there, that makes more sense than in the movie.
Yeah.
Welcome to the MCU, baby. We're doing TV shows, we're doing movies, we're doing anime or animated TV.
But I honestly think it's better that she showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier because she got a lot more exposition for her character than she did
just showing up.
Black Widow.
Right,
So,
like that was an introduction, a little tease.
Black Widow, people would be confused, but at least we got more background on our character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it actually, I think, worked out better that we saw her in that show first. So, but she's basically sort of becoming like the dark Nick Fury, or like the sassy, more morally ambiguous Nick Fury. She's assembling a team.
Is it the Dark Avengers?
U.S. agent. She has Yelena now. So
that's not the Sinister Six now, right?
No, I think she's assembling Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt is in charge of the island prison where Zemo was sent to.
Ooh, I do love me some Zemo.
And the Thunderbolts are basically like the Marvel Suicide Squad. They're like a team of
it's like it was
for reform.
Thunderbolt Ross heads that up, don't they? And he's still alive in the MCU.
In one incarnation, like originally it was just like a bunch of like villains who were posing as heroes, but they have to like it was like after the Onslaught events, like all like the big three were gone: Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. So like it was a big void in the hero department, so they sort of filled that, even though they were like trying to do it for their own personal gain. But I think eventually they start to want to be heroes.
What is this? Some kind of Suicide Squad? That is a shout out to the first 3 episodes. Brought it all back.
Oh yeah, that was like,
guys.
That's what we do. Oh yeah.
Were you all happy?
Man, how many episodes are we in now, Forrest?
What?
Which one is this?
This is like 23 or 24.
Dang.
So like,
Damn.
we've done this
I
like
remember the last
the
time I've been
first
this
week or
committed.
third week of the year of January. So we've been doing this for almost like half a year.
Oh man, we went
That's
through
crazy.
WandaVision.
Time
We went
flies.
through.
Oh yeah,
right?
did we start? It was like right before WandaVision or something like that.
We started the first episode. It was me, Tip, and Major. We like WandaVision premiered like the Friday before. Then we discussed it like the following Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
And then we discussed episode 2 later that week. So
Damn, this
was on
podcast has seen
Inauguration Day, so it
Bitcoin
was like
go
the
from
Tuesday after
30K to
Friday.
60K back to 30K. That's how long this podcast has been around.
Yeah. So yeah. So anything else we missed in Loki? I guess everyone happy Mobius survived.
Of course.
Very happiest. I figured he would after it was revealed that they weren't pruned. I thought it was weird that Renslayer lied to her guys and was like, well, at least she's dead. Like, we don't have to worry about her anymore. Like, she knows that that's not how that doesn't kill him.
I knew
Yeah, but-
Mobius was coming back somehow just because somebody pointed out that a trailer showed a scene with Mobius, which was him driving the car in a trailer, and that hasn't shown up yet. So I was like, well, he's coming back somehow.
That's exactly why I avoid trailers. People online were talking about President Loki, and I was like, who? What? This sounds cool.
Yeah. So I guess Ravona's going to find her future self, or she's going to start the TVA. So it's sort of like that thing, like, you know, she's her own grandmother.
Mhm.
She's the reason she's in the TVA.
We're gonna have some kind of
in the future.
paradox.
The Fry paradox.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But yeah, I guess really all I had in the episode, even though it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I'm just it's probably going to be the best episode of this series. Just the visual effects alone were
So
stunning.
good.
Definitely
I was
looking forward to
watching
what
this.
they do.
All right, I'm so looking forward to the next episode. I was watching this and just really impressed with how good it looked. I was like, this is movie quality stuff happening right here.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Well,
for a TV show too. I didn't think of that.
it's like
You're just kind of
literally-
like used to having that really good effects.
Right?
Literally 20 million per episode, I think. So it's like ridiculously.
Well
Wow.
spent.
Like,
well
it's literally
spent.
the entire season is the cost of a film, like one of these films. So
My Marvel's kicking ass right now.
well, they got the money to
All
spend. Disney, they're
All hail the mouse.
DC's kind of in the background.
Well,
Well,
they just hired Snyder to handle the whole thing. He was just too incompetent. So, you know.
Well, I
They
mean,
hired him to
maybe,
do
if
what?
maybe they let superheroes go down on people. It wouldn't be such a
Yeah, that would
dark and gritty
That's
universe,
definitely what they need.
right?
Oh yeah, dude.
That's how you get the views back up.
Oh, dude, I rewatched Deadpool while I was in Minnesota over the weekend, and like the second one, there's like multiple reference. I didn't catch it first, like what's his name? He pointed out, he's like, "What's with the guy with the Winter Soldier arm?" And just all the random comments. Yeah, like
It's
little
so
things
good.
like that. I didn't catch it first, especially because I didn't really I wasn't real familiar with Winter Soldier at the time.
I only have
Deadpool 2,
one complaint about Deadpool 2, and that's the dubstep joke that he makes when he's fighting in the prison with Josh Brolin, Cable, when he's fighting Cable, and he's like, is dubstep still popular? And I was like, dubstep's not popular right now.
Oh, there was
That was a
another
good
reference
joke
I was
3
about to
years ago.
say.
Yeah, that movie definitely suffers from like Iron Man 2 syndrome. Like the first movie was so successful that they thought they could do anything they wanted to in the second one. It would still be good, but it doesn't even have like
I thought it
good
was
story.
still hilarious. I was
It's
laughing.
it's
like,
hilarious, but it doesn't really have a good story. It's just like basically like
No.
the main villain.
You don't
I
think
just
it's a good
love
story?
I just love how
gotta
he
save the
breaks the
kid.
fourth wall all the time.
Yeah.
Or like
I
when he goes cleans up the timeline. He goes and kills the version of Deadpool in the Wolverine movie. Where he's got
Oh,
like
yes.
no mouth and
You're
one
welcome,
blade
Canada.
and like. Yeah.
Oh no, that was for
It
Green
was-
Lantern when he shoots him when he's reading
Oh,
the script
yeah.
for Green Lantern. He's like, "You're welcome, Canada."
But you remember Black Jack? Oh, not Black Jack, but Black Tom Cassidy in that movie, who gets killed. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember, yeah.
he's like Black
That
Tom
was pretty
Cassidy. He's
funny.
like White Wade Wilson. And originally he was supposed to be the main villain of the movie, but they had to like
Really?
to cut his part out. I guess just because Reynolds wanted more one-liners, and they wanted to set up X-Force.
He has lots of funny lines.
So yeah.
Well, Matt,
It
what do
would've
you
been better
think?
if he, was
Deadpool 2. I enjoyed and hated, and part of the reason why I hated it so much is I'm a huge X-Force fan.
Yeah.
X-Force is one of my favorite teams, and the fact that they introduce them and then immediately kill every single member of X-Force except Domino, of course.
Well, she's
But,
so all of them wasn't like a comic book actual team.
X-Force has been a comic book since like the 80s. Oh
I
yeah.
think the second spinoff of X-Men.
Shows how many of the comics I've read.
Well, no, like third.
They have 1,000 of them. Don't feel bad. That's what we're
because you
here
had
for.
X Factor.
X Factor.
Yeah, we got to have a mix of everything. I'm just the guy who
And,
watched all the movies. You guys are the ones who watched everything. Watched and read everything.
Excalibur's the British version.
Mm-hmm.
They say the Omniverse, whatever that is. It's like the multiverse, but bigger. I didn't really understand that.
Yeah, and then in the 90s, there was a ton of saturation in the comic book market because X-Men 1
First edition
sold, like, it's the most sold comic book ever. And so they started, like, pumping out teams. Alpha Flight.
That was like the 80s, though.
That's the Canadian version, right?
That's a Canadian Avengers.
Instead of the Hulk, they had the Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
They have it's also cool. They have like one of the first.
God, that's borderline racist.
Called North Star.
Yeah.
And they have
Instead of the Hulk, they just have like a moose.
Like Doctor Strange character called like Shaman, who I think might be in the next Doctor Strange movie, along with Brother Voodoo. So that'd be cool if they could introduce Shaman and like start teasing Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
It's funny. If Fox still owned the X-Men, we'd probably get an Alpha Flight movie already because they were like definitely trying to do any spin-off they could think of.
Yeah.
Like they were going
You
to
think so?
movie.
I think they were calling it quits. I think they were calling it quits with the Dark Phoenix saga.
Well, they knew they were going to lose the rights anyway because they were going to
and
Disney,
then
so they just shout out that movie.
Right, and then Disney put out what was that dumb one when they were in the
New Mutants? I haven't seen that.
New Mutants. Yeah, I say dumb, but I haven't seen it. Yeah,
New Mutants. It's been on my queue for a while now, and it'll probably stay on my queue for a while.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the poor quality.
You should have ended it with Logan. That would have been a really strong finish for like the 17-year or 20-year franchise. But they had to simmer out Dark. They had to like shoot out like two other, bummers like New Mutants and Dark Phoenix. They couldn't even use the name X-Men in any of those movies. So they couldn't use
feminist.
X-Men and Dark
That's why
Phoenix.
we're Fort X-Force.
Well, men is like originally like a gender neutral term. Like it used to mean the same as human.
Yeah.
So you can say X-Men and it not be like masculine.
It is the neuter. It is the neuter form of the word. If we're talking about linguistics,
I was just talking about like that was in Deadpool.
Yeah, it's
like I got the reference. I got it.
The word men is in women, so
But so back to Loki. One other quick comment I'd like to make. One of my biggest pet peeves this whole series has been the fight scenes because they're gods and they get their butts kicked by guards.
Mm-hmm.
So the fight scene was hilarious watching them just go all out with their powers against each other. But I especially liked how Kid Loki and Alligator Loki did a version of the "Hey, we need help." He like picks him up and chucks him at President Loki, which is a callback to when he pretended threw Loki at the dude. And which one was that? It was
Ragnarok when they're stealing the ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great callback. They had a lot of good callbacks. Like when they asked Mobius what he was going to do, and he said, "I'm going to burn the TVA to the ground," because that's what Loki said he wanted to do in episode 1. I was like, "Oh, look, a reference."
But like
thanks for the spark or something like that.
We actually get to see powers. Classic Loki with his projection is insane.
Oh, dude!
How good?
He gets like all of Asgard's castle and. That's crazy.
And when his hands were green and he was doing the classic Loki was doing the magic, like how good did that look? That was some really good CGI.
And then
how good did those yellow undies look too?
Yeah.
Of course, those troops.
Good job for Richard Grant. like doing that role. I mean, he was phenomenal in it, but like I don't know. I like to think when I'm whatever his age is, 60 plus, and someone handed me that costume, I'd be like, no amount of money is gonna make me put this on.
Well, I'm sure he's done a lot of Shakespeare, so he's probably used to like wearing tights.
That's a good point. What do you guys think about his story? Like being on oh yeah, speaking of references and throwbacks, like there was that you gotta dig deep here. Back to Infinity War, seems like forever ago. The theory after Infinity War that Loki was hiding in the debris
and projecting himself.
And that's exactly what classic Loki did. I thought that was a really good callback.
Well, see, here's
reference to the. Go ahead.
I was going to say the thing about that too is we don't know what part of the timeline he currently is on in this show. So he could have seen himself killed by Mobius when he showed it to him, and then got the idea from the other Loki, and then goes back to the actual timeline that event happens, and now uses that idea. So it still ties in. Like we don't know.
So you think that's? I like that. So that's like Tom Hiddleston Loki after a couple thousand years.
Yeah, and so basically now we can bring back Loki in the movies.
He's gonna go back to Dark World timeline. Let his mother die again. Or is he
I think it. Sorry.
I don't know. Where would you go back to?
Yeah, if he goes back to where he left off in the timeline, he's gonna have to go to Dark World again. So
we already know that he knows his mom is dead, but he hasn't died yet. So he's somewhere in between there. So is it which Avengers?
Well,
I'm getting so confused with which movies now.
There's
things happen to so many of them.
Avengers, Dark World, Ragnarok, Infinity War. So if he goes back to where he left off in Avengers, he's going to be captured by Thor. He's going to go to trial in front of Odin. Then he's going to go to prison. Then I guess the Dark Elves are going to attack. And then he's going to lead one to his mother or tell one just to go up the stairs.
But, in the first episode, he's pulled by the TVA when he gets to Tesseract, right? So maybe he just goes back then when he re-enters his timeline. So he's already captured again.
Got to have a Loki in the universe.
Yep.
We'll see. I think they already want. I think they've announced they're going to do season 2 anyway. So I don't think this is the last.
Really?
Well, nice. So what about that? What if Loki become like what Sylvie was hinting at, or what she said was, if I'm successful, someone will need to rule the timeline. Maybe that's Loki in season 2. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Loki has an all-powerful
Loki and Mobius.
That is a buddy cop show I would definitely watch.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I got. So I guess we'll put to a vote. Who thinks Kang is behind TVA next episode? Say aye. No one. Immortus?
No one.
I want it to be, but no.
Everyone thinks it's Ravonna.
Yep.
Nope. I think it's evil Mobius.
Okay. Anyone think it's the Loki variant?
It might be.
Okay.
And that'll be the final twist at the end.
I want to be Kang.
I really got no idea.
But I think Matt's right with Ravonna. It's gonna be a future Ravonna. I guess her Terminatrix or whatever her future version self is. And the second choice is a better name. Second choice is Immortus or Kang, and then third choice is like a Loki variant. So,
what'd you guys think about Alioth overall, though? Like that looked good. Like Dormammu looked good, but Alioth looked a lot better because, like, ever since Disney got the Fantastic Four back, I mean, Galactus is going to happen at some point, but I've always been worried about how Galactus is going to look on screen, right? Like it's a giant cloud that eats people. Exactly, right? Like that was just so bad. So seeing Alioth, I was like, oh, like this is another step in the right direction.
And it's a TV show because Galactus is definitely going to come out in a movie. So I think it'll be done
even better.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a little cliche? Like, how most movies end in a blue sky beam and most DC movies have like a big gray hulking bad guy. Like, do you think there's going to be a saturation of cloud monsters? I mean, they already did Dormammu. Now they're doing Alioth. Do you think if they did Galactus in the next... right? If they did
Right.
Galactus in the next 2 or 3 years, it just seems like they're going back to the well again.
We'll see.
I want some variety in my villains.
Yeah. All right.
Not that I would be complaining if we saw Galactus show up.
What if it's Galactus behind the TVA? Everyone's mind gets blown.
Dun dun dun.
All right. You want to move on to Rick and Morty? I guess we're just going to do the Planetina episode because Major hasn't seen the new one.
Major screwed up.
Yeah.
Yo,
Wah, wah.
I didn't think it was as good as the latest ones though.
Which one? The
The last episode
Oh,
Yeah, it was
let's talk about
with the
Planetina,
giant
though.
sperm monsters.
Well, let's talk about Planetina this week because Major hasn't seen the worst one.
Yeah, let's talk about Planetina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody watched Captain Planet as a kid at some point.
Captain Planet.
He's
Remember
a
that?
hero.
It's like Ted Turner's like painting himself blue in the bathroom. Captain Planet.
Yeah, from Robot Chicken.
And then some guy walks in the
That
bathroom
was
and
so
he
funny.
turns around.
Captain Planet.
Save the environment or I'll fucking kill you. So, yeah, that they did like a female version called Planetina, and like basically it was kind of cool because it's like the Planeteers have aged in real time. Apparently, the heart guy.
Wait for Rick and
died.
Morty to make it realistic and as bummer as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she even
basically-
looks at the camera.
Well, what happened is they got rid of the heart guy because it was like earth, wind, fire, water,
Heart.
heart.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Well,
think of that.
They
She's-
lost.
she's
their
got no heart.
That's why they are. became
Shows how
greedy
much
and
it-
corrupt.
Shows how much.
It's very clever. I like it a lot.
Yeah, but I thought they should have referenced him at least. Like we killed the heart guy. That's why because we realized we had to make money off of this.
Oh, did they mention that?
They didn't mention
No.
it, but it kind of made sense.
Oh,
Did you know the fire?
Yeah,
guy
he
was
shows up at
voiced,
the end and turns Planetina to a good person.
Yeah, that's true. They the fire guy was voiced by Steve Buscemi.
Hmm
I thought he sounded familiar.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a few actual major actors in this episode.
Yeah, I only
That were
heard
guest
four.
starring.
I think Alison Brie was the voice of Planetina,
Yep.
who was on Community. I think.
Yep.
I'm sure like
God,
all
love
the main
Alison Brie.
Community people have been on Rick and Morty at some point.
Let's see, Joel was on in season 3 when they went to the Mad Max world.
Oh, okay. I guess
I can tell you
Chevy Chase
Pierce will
won't be
never
on.
show up. Yeah, Chevy Chase will never show up on it. That's for damn sure.
I don't know. Maybe they'll make amends. Who knows? Actually, everyone hates him now.
That'd be great if they did what's
that
the
was the
superheroes?
What was that?
What are the superheroes in Rick and Morty? What's that superhero team?
Oh, I forgot.
They're made
Oh,
for the Avengers.
yeah. Where he ends up killing them all to prove a point.
Yeah,
oh,
and he loves
I know
Noob
what you're
Noob.
talking about.
Yep. New. Because like it's the third adventure, but it's only the second one Rick's been invited to. So
Yeah. No, so good. Yeah, they'd rather just face like a terrible monster and half their team died instead of inviting Rick.
Yep.
Damn, what is that team called? Whatever, not
The
important. But
Vindicators.
Yes.
the Vindicators.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you,
Yeah.
good sir. Yeah,
Just
so
Googled
that'd be
them.
cool if they did another Vindicator episodes and we saw Planetina again.
So,
Oh, I knew she was in that.
Million Ants. Or
Million
What-
Ants.
what was his name?
God,
He was
I
better.
love
how
A million
dumb-
times better.
the
Wasn't,
Soul
wasn't
Train
his
guy.
name like literally
Million Ants
just
guy. Like,
like
shit,
Million
like,
Ants or something like that?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is
Million
Million
Ants.
Oh,
Ants.
let me see.
Million Ants, man.
Yeah, having sex with him was a million times better.
Crocubot. Yeah, his name was just Million Ants.
Those were the best, dumbest superpowers ever. I really enjoyed
The,
that.
the
I might watch
train
it after
guy.
this.
The
Yeah,
train
dude,
guy.
the ghost train.
Yeah.
Alan
But-
Rails. This is his name, Alan Rails.
Okay.
Choo choo.
But so yeah, this
But
episode.
back to this shitty superhero.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we're starting to see Morty define himself and pull away a little bit from Rick, and you
Yeah.
can see
And
I
Summer's
love
there
how
to fill the hole.
There has
Yeah.
more Morty and Summer in the latest season.
but also how badass Morty has become. Like he's just sick and tired of everybody's shit. So like a few episodes ago, where he goes into that portal and he just kills people because
Oh,
he's done with
dude,
it.
yeah. He just like gets all kinds of weaponry from the garage and
becoming
goes
Rick.
back in there.
But he does
Oh,
this
yeah.
too, saves Planetina, so
Did
how
they
badass
did
he's
they
become.
do it? Did Morty lose his virginity this episode?
Well, he lost his virginity to those
To, like,
robots in season 1, right?
Oh,
Where he-
well, I was
Oh.
gonna say something with the new episode, but it was...
Yeah. Don't.
They didn't lose his virginity in that episode.
No, well, that's what I was gonna say, but I didn't know how much
I mean-
Major wanted to hear.
No, you can tell to me all.
With the,
especially if it's not the
basically
best episode
the
ever.
horse
It's
sperm
horse,
It's a
collector.
horse.
It's like basically like a pussy. He finds
I don't know if
pocket
you've
pussy
seen
for
any-
horses.
You haven't seen any kind of trailers.
No,
for the,
no trailers, no
for the new one.
commercials.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw
it's
a link
just
on
he was like,
YouTube.
"What's this in the middle of the room here?" He's like he's at his
Oh
mom's.
no, I did see that. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I did see that. That showed up.
Yeah, and
after
it has the thing that just jacks off horses. Basically, what was the
Can't believe
actual
we're
name
saying
Well,
for
that's
it?
reproductive
allowed.
material.
I just thought it was hilarious how he turns it on and you just see his eyes get big. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Talking about that kind of occupation, I remember going over to Robbie's house, and the only episode of Dirty Jobs I've ever seen, we watched with him and Chris, and maybe your mom was there. I'm not sure, but it was about the guys who collect horse semen for a living and how like profitable that is. And I was like, yeah, that's a terrible job. That is a dirty job right there. That's the only episode I've ever seen.
Freddy got fingered. Anybody
Yeah,
seen that
basically
movie?
it.
Yep.
Morty's offering to like volunteer at his mom's work. And then it just cuts off to a week later. He's on the roof like with some sunglasses and a robe with some orange juice. But then he looks down and he sees Rick like rolling in this barrel full of horse semen. He's like, okay.
Ugh. All right, I gotta find this episode online.
So
Shout out to Spectrum DVR for fucking up that recording last night. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Recording some random little side episode thing.
But yeah, so the B story in the Planetina episode was basically Rick and Summer going to like a spring break, but it was like end of the world parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple of them.
And I thought it was funny that Rick was the one who became
Apocalyptic
Who fell in
party
love.
crawl.
Yeah. That was funny that Rick was the one who got attached. Even though he
Yeah.
was
Right?
not
it's
to.
always the ones who are like, nah, don't
Basically-
get attached. And they fall in
Basically,
love.
Summer's
It's the
becoming
elbow
Rick,
moves.
and Rick's kind of softening up a little.
Yeah, because that goes back to the Mad Max episode too, because it was Summer that wanted to stay, so he built a society for her, so that way she'd hate her husband and want to leave.
Right.
And this time, it's basically a straight callback to that. She ends up saving the planet, and everybody's like, the party's over.
He even
So-
said it as like that was very Rick of you to
Yep.
Phillips to ruin one stupid relationship.
With the neck
That is a
boobies.
super Rick thing to do. With the elbow boobs,
Yep.
which I just want to give
Elbow,
a shout
yeah.
out to Rick for being able to spot those while she was wearing a jacket. Hello.
Oh,
Damn
man.
it, that should have been our intro.
It looked more,
Hello.
oh yeah. It looked more like
Bye-bye.
two ball sacks just hanging off her elbows there.
Your boobs rub. No, I don't know.
Boobs.
Wait, was your version uncensored?
No, mine, it
Mine
was
was
like,
censored.
when she's like,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if
do
that was
this.
part of the episode or if that was Cartoon
I
Network.
figured it was part of the joke, is that it was so
That those were
obscene.
blurry.
So
That
vulgar,
Rick and
yeah, it was
Morty-
censored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause- So.
I'm gonna give a
Yeah,
shout
that
out
was
to
funny, though.
HBO Max one more time for not having the damn episodes up as soon as they stream. Do
Watch
not
them
understand
wait till the-
HBO Max.
Watch them wait till the
on,
whole season's out.
As long as they don't pull a Netflix and wait till the next season comes out to release the last season, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, if they make you wait
As
till
long as it's
season
some point.
6, which
Yeah.
who knows when that'll be. We waited how long for season 5?
Not nearly as long as season 4. That was like a 2-year gap. That took forever. But then we got 90 episodes.
Yay.
Now we just need 6 seasons in the movie. Come on, Dan.
Yeah.
Help us out, Dan.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I
man.
gave up on Bad Batch. So
Me too.
Yeah, I was
started-
going to ask if
Already
when you were
2 or
going over
3
what we're going
episodes
to talk
behind.
about, when
I
you were
started this
talking about what we were
episode,
going
though.
over today, I was going to be
Oh.
like, did you want to talk about Bad Batch? But it's
What
not
was it? What was it basically about?
It was like basically, well, I didn't
Another-
even get to the part of the episode where the Bad Batch actually show up. It's like basically the Empire is
It was
occupying the
all
planet.
all for 2 minutes. Oh, Matt, have you seen the Bad Batch?
So I got to the episode where they take the chips out of the clones, and even my son at that point had checked out. So that was like
Dang.
3 episodes ago.
Well, it just shows like the episode. What I saw from this most recent episode is like they'll just take any ancillary character from the movies and build an episode around them. Because like I don't remember if you remember from episode 3, but there's like this really fat blue alien with like the tentacles that hang over his shoulders in
Mhm.
episode 3 for like 2 seconds, and this entire
Tell.
episode is about his planet. And just
Now,
like,
see,
oh,
I think
that
Matt
guy. Okay.
might like this. Now, see, Forrest, you're 100% right, but you're on the wrong character. I think last episode, Matt was on. He was talking about how, Bad Batch can't just throw up an old Star Wars character that we know and love and think that's good enough for the fans to enjoy the whole episode. Matt, but you might actually want to just skip ahead to this episode because it's Hera's background from
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Rebels.
this is like Clone Wars lore I'm unfamiliar with, so I have no
Yeah.
idea. who these
So yeah, that's what I was
characters
gonna say. Like you were pointing out like the big blue guy, and I was like, you're wrong character. But you were 100% right.
I'm like, I recognize
It wasn't-
him. I was like, oh, but it just goes to show, like in the Clone Wars, the anime series, they'll just like make an episode out of these random characters that George Lucas probably put like 2 seconds of thought into. Like, oh, we're doing like alien next to Palpatine. Let's make him really fat, like.
Jar Jar is the whole key. Is the
Like,
key to episode 1.
Jabba's assistant, but like really fat. So
You still don't
it
think
really just
so.
shows like how like insane like the fans or like the producer of the show, like, let's take this character who's in the movie for like 2 seconds, like make an entire episode about his planet. So
Oh, but that's what I love about Dave Filoni. Like he's such into Star Wars. Like everything is just very well put together. It's not made by some executive who only cares about a paycheck. It's some guy trying to nourish his baby and create something like a legacy that people will remember forever, like the original trilogy. I mean, this is definitely not it.
But
Bad Batch wise.
my problem is, so the last episode I watched, I gave up on. Rex just comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey guys, I remember this exact shipyard where I had my ship
Yep.
taken out, and let's go on an adventure there. And hey, our chips are out now." It's like, and then he leaves,
Yep.
and that's literally like they just shoehorned him in to advance the plot, but not even in like. It's literally like, "Hey, on the MacGuffin."
So I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was driving somewhere. I don't remember where, but I remember a conversation we had on the podcast, Matt, where we were talking about like what we wanted to see from like the next Star Wars. And I don't want to misquote you. Maybe this was a dream. Maybe I'm imagining everything. But I think you said you were okay with seeing a Star Wars property without any Jedi in it. And
Yeah.
I was not. And I think Bad Batch has proven that you need a lightsaber. You need a Jedi in Star Wars. Right? Maybe.
I mean,
Right? Like the first episode was good, and there were Jedis, there were lightsabers, and no more Jedi, no more lightsabers, no more good episodes. Correlation, not causation.
well, I mean,
But
like,
maybe.
Kind of felt the same, really.
yeah, the Mandalorian didn't have much Jedi except for the Ashoka episode and Luke at the end.
That is very
Season
true.
1 didn't have any at all.
So
And now they did Rogue One, although that movie was also boring. But
I loved Rogue One. That's like one of my favorites.
it's
Boo this man. No, I'm kidding. Rogue One's, I would
I
say
liked
better
it.
than.
Yeah.
I liked how
Solo.
it just started you right into the old Star Wars movies.
yeah. Well,
I
Rogue
like how
One's
they
a
all
lot of
died.
Episode
fan
4.
service with some subpar characters and a subpar plot. Spoiler: they get the plans. I already knew that.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like Donnie. Well, I like Donnie Yen's character, but it just pissed me off that they didn't make. It was like a half-assed Jedi. It was like, just make him a Jedi.
Is that the guy who is
The blind man who is force sensitive.
Forces with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if he's like already that age, he would have had Jedi training, because the
If they found him.
What?
If they kidnapped him, I think I want. See, if Ryan Johnson was going to like dissect the Star Wars for a movie, he should have like put a little twist on it, or like maybe Anakin was right. Maybe the Jedi, what does he say? From my point of view, the Jedi are the bad guys, right? I mean, they're literally kidnapping kids at the age of 2 or 3 or whatever. They're only the good guys because they're the main characters.
Well, to be fair, they kidnapped him from being a slave. So,
I mean, I guess 2 wrongs make it right.
Yeah, they kidnapped him from being a desert slave. Yeah, they really deprived him of a happy childhood by taking him away.
The only thing I know for certain is that only Sith speak in absolutes.
Yeah, I know. I really misses his not so subtle Jewish allegory master. What was his name?
Wait.
Jingo?
Yeah.
Sith...
don't you see?
Wait, but the Sith only speak in absolutes. Only is an absolute. That would have been a dead giveaway. Besides,
Yoda was a Sith.
The most obvious, besides the most obvious reveal of all time, the bad guy who had 4 evil head turns in a single conversation. I think I stole that from pitch meeting or whatever. But yeah, it's incredibly. I don't know. I never thought about that, but yeah, only is an absolute. That's a dead giveaway. Anakin's a dummy.
Well, to get to your point, though, Major, I don't think that this series is dying because of the lack of Jedi in it. This series, has the problem of Adventure of the Week, which, they're really kind of advancing the plot, but not really. And 2, what I call the prequel curse, in which they just start dumping stuff into the show, like I was saying the other week, to get the fanboys to go I know that's a YT 1300 Curlian cruiser. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Or
I know that.
That's a Tals. That's a Tals. I know that alien. That's a this. And you see, they speak this.
Just get them nerding out, basically. But
exactly.
I think
juxtaposing Marvel, who is reference heavy, and Star Wars, which is owned by Disney and is very reference heavy now, and I guess always has been, maybe at least from after the first 3 movies. Why do you think Marvel does it better? They had the Frog Thor, and it said T356 or whatever, which was the episode, which was the original comic book number of Frog Thor.
Yeah. So I think
in the comics,
I think what Marvel does it bad sometimes too, but in Loki right now, everything's in the background and it's ancillary. It's not what drives the plot forward. You know what I mean?
So that's the big, the Thanos copter. That's a good reference. You don't need to know. Okay, I like that.
It's just a little thing in the background that's just not even mentioned. You just have to know.
It's not reliant upon it. Yeah. They're not pulling back Phil Coulson for an episode and being I hope everyone likes Phil enough to hold this episode up. So you would say overall Bad Batch is boring, right? Yeah.
I mean, even my kids who are watching it with me the first few weeks, after episode 3, my daughter didn't care about it anymore. And then, this last episode, my son literally left my lap and walked away. It was so boring.
I can't do this anymore. So even if it was Adventure of the Week, I would still argue. I understand. I think you're 100% right. But just for content for the podcast, I would argue that even if it was Adventure of the Week with Jedis doing flips and shit and having lightsabers and lightsaber battles, that is more entertaining than 4 clones, 5 clones, 4 clones and Echo, whatever. I mean, I guess they're all clones, but 4 variants.
And people like fireworks because they make noises and they light up the sky.
Exactly.
Just because they're easily amused by the eyes. There has to be more to it. There has to be more to it. I don't say completely cast out the Jedi, but just have them more in the background.
No bright, colorful lightsabers.
They're all dead around. Pretty much now. So you got your wish.
Are they though?
Are they? Yeah. Is Rey gonna create a new
school of Jedi? I don't know how. So they're bringing Thrawn back.
There'll be some big backlash if they kill Ahsoka. I don't care enough. I mean, I like Ahsoka. I like her better in the Clone Wars than the Mandalorian.
Anything interesting happen with Omega yet?
Capture, no.
Is she just kind of disappeared, or what's happened now?
I wish she was Force sensitive. I would rather have been wrong about her being a female Jango or Boba, female Boba, than it's just Matt's. It's so boring.
Well, it's she's Django's daughter, basically, right?
She's
Not an
she's
actual
Django.
clone.
No, she is a clone. She's just like
female
a
Django.
yeah, she's like a non-modified clone. Yeah, they took his XY chromosome and made it a YY chromosome.
What a plot twist!
That's what I would imagine. Yeah. Anyway,
whatever it takes to make him a girl.
Sid's my favorite part of that show. Bring back Sid. More Sid.
Yeah, I did kind of like her.
She was at least fun.
She charged them for missions that they were doing for her.
Got to say.
Well, yeah. You gotta. How much do you think it costs to fill up? Yeah. How much do you think it fills up? How much do you think it costs to fill up a starship? Is that in a book you've read, Matt?
Oh God,
is it 10,000 credits? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which year you're in, because the currency does fluctuate, and which system you're in. Like if you're in Corellia,
Bitcoin, I see.
If you're in Corellia, or if you're in a core world, it's gonna be different than one of the outer rim places.
Ah, that makes sense. Using different currencies. I do like the aspect of Bad Batch, how they're showing more background about like how the Empire was forming and became the Empire that we know and love from the original trilogy. But at the same time, it doesn't make like a ton of sense, because like in this last episode, or maybe the episode before that, I don't know, they all just kind of run together, and yet I can't remember any of them. They were on a separatist planet and making the separatists join the Empire. But the Empire used to be the Republic, and the separatists were against the Republic. I mean, so like, it doesn't make any sense for the separatists to not rebel against the Empire if they were rebelling against the Republic. It's the same thing with a different name. Pretty
much. But
yeah, so
for that point too, they show them getting the registration numbers is like a whole major point in one episode, and they don't talk about that later. They show them finally recruiting, not recruiting, like forced draft of humans, and then I haven't, like, it's been 4 episodes since that episode. Like they have these ideas that build the Empire, and then they just drop it, which goes back to my fanboy. Like, see, remember when this happened? They don't use it ever.
I think you're right.
Well, we're at the hour. Y'all,
yay!
I sort of dozed off or drifted off those last 5 minutes.
Yeah, see, Bad Batch is so boring. Like, it's hard to listen to people talk about it. And watch the damn episode.
So, but yeah, this was good. I think we discussed a lot. So, looking forward to Loki and Rick and Morty. Maybe I'll give Bad Batch another chance.
I have one follow-up question.
Behind, so
I have one follow-up question for the podcast. Would you guys rather watch all of Bad Batch once it comes out, or rewatch Falcon and the Winter Soldier again?
Oh,
Bad Batch, easily.
Bad Batch, yeah.
I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robbie.
Matt.
We'll see you
Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace.